Hey guys, welcome to the next Toastmasters meeting. So everyone will be excited, and I can see a lot of you smiling. Like it's a month of December where we uh, have a lot of things to do. Like most of us will be planning for vacations and spending time with our families and other stuff. And your kids might be uh, preparing for the exams, and they will be excited for the vacations too. So this is a month where we have a lot of things, like we will be joyful and we will be sharing gift with each other. So uh, I think we have something special this meeting as well. The name of our meeting itself is something great. So without further ado, let's start our meeting. So Toastmasters is an international non-profit organization started by Arathi Smedley to promote public speaking. The mission, we provide a supportive and positive learning experience which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skill, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. There are some ground rules we need to follow while we are in the meeting. First of all, please refrain from making any reference to religion, politics, sex in your speech, which may hurt others' sentiments. Also, please turn off all the noise-making devices like mobile phone or put them in silent mode. Avoid cross-talking when someone is speaking. Considering this virtual setup, please ensure that you mute yourself when you are not speaking. So once again, I welcome everyone to this Toastmasters meeting, and I welcome Prakash, who is the presiding officer today. And over to you, Prakash.
Thank you, Aashik, for that warm. Yeah, it's a really interesting and it's really good to see so many people joining today from our own. And welcome to Technopark Toastmasters 67th meeting. Today we have a very interesting theme, one of my favorite topic. And when I think about traveling, the one quote that comes to my mind is from Obama. He said something like this: there is something spectacular about seeing a new place, being exposed to new ideas, and experiencing new culture. Traveling makes you grow. This is quite true. When you travel, you meet interesting people, experience new culture, is different. Traveling makes you question your biases and beliefs about people, places, culture. And definitely it makes you grow. On that note, let's get into the meeting. As the president of Technopark Toastmasters Club, it's my privilege to officially open this meeting. Today, we have a very talented Toastmaster donning the role of TMOD. He himself is a travel enthusiast. He's right now working as a manager in Infoblogs and a father to two beautiful kids, Ishida and Wayne. Over to you, Manu, to enthrall us with an interest.
Thank you, President Prakash, for the wonderful introduction. So I am the Toastmaster for the day, and I hope all of you had a great breakfast, at least some of you who had it. I'll first explain our agenda for today before going into the theme. So we'll have, apart from the speeches, we'll have the round robin first, around that I'll get to after some time. And then we have the prepared speech. Then we'll have the table topics and finally the evaluation. So this is our agenda for today. As Toastmaster for the day, I will also
Hello.
Manu.
We lost Manu. Problem. Okay, I thought my problem. Okay.
Okay, so let's start. So as a Toastmaster of the day, I'll be introducing today's speaker, general evaluator, and the speech evaluator. For this meeting, the theme that I selected is Get, Set, Go. Who all are excited that this is already December? I mean, I don't know how fast this year end, but who all are excited this is already December? Good. There are some hands raised. That's good. I believe all of you would agree that, I mean, the last 2 years, I think from 2020 till now, it has been very hard for all of us, right? I mean, with COVID, it has been very hard, very challenging, very frustrating. And when this year started, 2022, we were slowly getting out of all those clutches that we had the past 2 years, right? All the frustrations. And I could finally see that, okay, now we are end of the year, December, and we are almost, I would say, 99% out of all the clutches. Kids are back to schools. Even we can go to the offices. Even Technopark Toastmaster Club, we had our own in-person meetings, at least a couple of in-person meetings as well. So that's actually a step in the right direction. I'm sure that I'm hoping that 2023 it would be back to how it was before 2020. I'm hoping that there won't be any other strain that will cause another issue for all of us. So before COVID, I mean, I had a very simple plan in my life. I mean, every year, end of the year, yeah, if you look at a year, I mean, I uh, I try to work most of the year, right? And finally, the end of the year, my simple plan was I will try to travel someplace, right? So normally, last I would say 7 to 8 years, the last 2 weekends, 2 weeks of the year. I mean, that's the December week as well as December 25th week, as well as the January 1st week. I normally take a leave to go to some place. Now, last 2 years with COVID, yeah, even though I took leave, I really didn't go anywhere. But before that, I was fortunate that I was able to travel to a lot of places. So and places like Sri Lanka and Goa, right? And as Prakash, Toastmaster Prakash said earlier, traveling is really important for us to understand various cultures, right? Now, if I take an example for Sri Lanka, before I went to Sri Lanka, I was thinking of that place as probably not a developed country, right? And it's not really clean, right? And yeah, there are cool beaches and all, but then it's not really that developed. It's a normal Asian country. But when I reached there, I was spellbound. I mean, the cleanliness was really, really good. I mean, I didn't really expect a country like Sri Lanka. And it's not just for the capital, Colombo. If you go outside of Colombo to any other outskirts of Sri Lanka, you would see the cleanliness. I mean, it's really, really good. The food was good. The people were really accommodating. Normally, when you go to some places, you feel that people will cheat you when you travel or when you get some accommodation or food. There was nothing like that. So it opened my eyes to a lot of things which I really didn't think about Sri Lanka. And I really want to go there again in the future. So with this, let me just open it up for all of you. I mean, as a round robin, please take like 1 or 2 minutes to talk about your past. If you were fortunate to travel during COVID time, the last um, talk about that, or even before that. So who wants to go?
Yeah, Manu, let me go.
Okay.
So I was never a travel buff. Indeed, I used to hate traveling. And the only travel I used to take was going to EDK, my husband's place. The problem I had with traveling was I had the severe travel sickness. So I used to hate. But what happened during COVID is sitting at home for 24/7 for 365 days. That was a first time after that, maybe 1.5 years into the COVID, we traveled and it was nice actually. So COVID brought in a new perspective, the same place, the same journey, everything, but new perspective. So good changes. I don't look forward to traveling, but yeah, I have that like if given, I'll definitely travel. A change in attitude.
Yeah, thanks, Toastmaster Kavita. So, yeah, definitely traveling doesn't mean that you have to go to Kashmir or very long places. Even small travels like this are also good, right? Even if it's hometown travel, right? At different times of the day or year, it gives you different perspectives. Anybody else who wants to go? Or will I have to call people?
I think you can call Manu.
Aashik?
Yeah, travel. Who doesn't love to travel? Everybody loves to travel, right? I also love traveling. Uh, Traveling doesn't mean that I go to out of state or something. Just within the state itself. Um, so during the COVID, something that came to my mind was uh, out of boredom, I called my friend and asked him we can meet at our college. So we both went there and we sat there and talked for a bit. And then suddenly uh, he suggested that let's go to Adrapalli. I hope all of you know what Adrapalli is. Like, it's a place in Thrissur where there is a nice waterfall. This particular waterfall got featured in a lot of movies, I guess. So it was a quick uh, decision that we took so that we can go there. And we had no prior preparations and all. Just we had two bikes. And we decided we will go with one bike and the other person will sit behind the other guys. And we started the journey and went there. It was a long ride, actually. I think it's around more than 30 kilometers. Yeah. Then we went there and spent a quality time then. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Thanks, Toastmaster Ashik. Yeah, that reminds me of one of my travel also. It was a night where we were friends, we were talking, and all of a sudden we decided let's go to Goa. Next morning we reached Goa also. So that was really crazy, and we didn't have any other clothes, just the clothes that we wore. And yeah, but it was good. I think we can go for one more person who, Ashwati, do you want to give a try?
Yeah. Travel, I like to travel, and basically my traveling things are closely associated with foodie. I'm a foodie, so we always me and my husband always like try new things. So our travel is combined with the food related thing. Mostly during the night we just go to Kovalam or some places in midnight and have some nice fish a fish or some new trial for food. So it was also like a travel, no. And the one of the most thing I remember is we went to Rameshwaram and Dhanushkodi. That was a nice travel with my friends. From there as well, we tried a lot of foods, fishes. Yeah, it was a wonderful journey.
It was great, Ashwati. So yeah, I mean, some of the travels are for purpose. This is for food, right? So it was good to hear that. Okay, let's move on to our main sections for today. So we'll start. Before we start with the speech, let's let's hear from our general evaluator. So today our general evaluator is Anu Kunnat, Toastmaster Anu Kunnat. She is working at Suntech in the quality assurance department for the past 8 years. And she loves listening to music and doing gardening. So Anu Kunnat, I will introduce you to share your role and also introduce the tag team members.
Thank you, Toastmaster Manu. Good morning, all fellow Toastmasters and guests. Now I'm playing this role for the first time. So I, first of all, I would like to, request the seasoned Toastmasters to evaluate how I am doing this role. Okay, so that is a request, first request that I'm making to all of you. Good morning. So the reason, the purpose of my role is to evaluate the entire Toastmaster meeting from start to the end. Now, this is not an easy task. So to help me with the task, I have a very good team, which is the tag team or the tag army. And I'll slowly introduce them to you first. So we have our timer as Rajeshwari, Arathi Rajeshwari, who's an associate vice president in Suntech. And she is an inspiration to me, and she's the reason why I joined Toastmasters. Okay, so Arathi, welcome to you. I request you to please introduce yourself and the role.
Thank you, General Evaluator Toastmaster Anu. As a timer today, I will be keeping track of the time that each speaker spends while speaking. The purpose is to make sure that we finish our meeting on time, and to do that, all our individual sessions should be on time. I will time all the speakers today, which include the prepared speech, the table topic speakers, and even the evaluations. I will let each speaker know the time that they have left using the green, yellow, and the red background. I'm sure that you would have noticed it already when I was showing it for the round robin session. For table topics, the speaker should limit to 2 minutes, which means at 1, I will show the green. At 1.5 minutes, I'll show the yellow, and at 2 minutes, I'll show the red card. You will get a grace period of 30 seconds to wind up, after which the red card remains displayed until you finish and hand over the control. Unfortunately, there is no mechanism to interrupt you, but you'll have to watch out for what is on the screen. We have a prepared speech today, which will be for 5 to 7 minutes. The cues will be at 5, 6, and 7 minutes. Individual evaluations will be for 2 to 3 minutes. 2, 2.5, and 3 minutes will be the cue. That's all. And back to the evaluator. I'll be back with the timer's report at the end of the session. Thank you, Anu.
Thank you, Arathi, for the detailed introduction and explaining the role. Now I go to I invite our counter, who's Aashik. Now, Aashik is an electric and electronic engineering graduate and works as an innovation engineer in ENY. He's a movie buff and he loves cycling. We already heard from him just now. So over to you, Aashik, for the introduction.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anu, for that introduction. So what I will do, when we all talk, there will be a lot of captures, or there are a lot of fillers that we use, like so, then this means, these all are the words that we use so that we can fill in the time that we miss some words, and we will use these words to fill it. So I will be looking out or listen to these words, and I will take a note of this. And at the end of the meeting, I will give you a report that how many times you have used these words or these filler sounds or something. So that's what my role is. Thank you, and over to you, Toastmaster Anu.
Thank you, Toastmaster Aashik. Now I welcome my grammarian, who is Jisha Binu. Jisha Binu has about 15 years of software engineering experience, and she's working as an architect in Suntech. She enjoys playing badminton and traveling. Now I invite her to explain the purpose of her role. Over to you, Jisha.
Thank you, Toastmaster, for that introduction. So as a grammarian, I will be, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all the speakers listening carefully to their language usage. I will take note of any improper language as well as any outstanding words, quotes, sayings, or thoughts. As grammarian, it is also my duty to introduce the word of the day. So I'll be bringing up the word of the day. I hope you can see my screen. Okay, so the word of the day is peregrinate. This means travel or wander from place to place, especially on foot. And the usages are, in his free time, he liked to peregrinate with no destination in mind. A peregrination of the huge mall left us all with throbbing feet. So try using these words. Yeah. Over to you, Toastmaster Anu.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jisha, for that introduction. Now, that was my tag team, and then we have explained what we're going to do. So we look forward to doing this role. Over to you, Toastmaster Manu, to taking this meeting forward.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anu, for explaining the general evaluator role as well as the tag team members. Now let's move to the speeches. So we have one speech for today. Before I introduce the speaker, let me introduce the evaluator and so that the evaluator can explain the roles for the speaker. So our first evaluator for today is Toastmaster Prakash. He is a technology consultant at Tata Alexi. He loves traveling, reading, and good designs as well. Over to you, Toastmaster Prakash, to explain the speaker role.
Thank you, Manu. So our speaker today is Toastmaster Kavita is already a seasoned speaker. So this is her second speech, and the objectives of the speech is learn the basic methods for writing a speech with a defined purpose. So that's the objective. So I'll be looking at that, and I'll be looking at how organized and how the speech is presented. Those are all the two aspects that I'll look at. The speech can be humorous or informational. There is no specific criteria on that. So those are all the objectives, and that's what I'll be evaluating. And all the best, Toastmaster Kavita. Over to you, Manu.
Thank you, Toastmaster Prakash. So our speaker for today is Toastmaster Kavita. She is from Trivandrum, working as a software professional at Axia Technologies. She enjoys mentoring teams and adopting new technologies. She's currently doing level 1 project, dynamic leadership, and the speech title is creating virtuous cycles and not rabbit holes. Best wishes. So the speech title is creating virtuous cycles and not rabbit holes. Over to you, Toastmaster Kavita.
Thank you, Toastmaster Manu. The Psalm of Life by Henry Wordsworth Longfellow. Tell me not in mournful numbers, life is but an empty dream. For it's a soul that slumbers, and things are not what they seem. TMOD, fellow Toastmasters, and guests. These are the 4 lines of a poem that I was supposed to recite at a competition while at school. Incidentally, these are the only 4 lines I could recite that day. I forgot rest of the poem, and rest is history. That marked the end of my journey as a competitor at recitations, debates, quizzes, and so on. Anything that needed public speaking, I quit totally. Years later, at work, I got the chance once again to come up on stage. I was given the task of hosting award ceremonies, online seminars, meetings, and so on. I took up these opportunities because I had a written script. I could easily manage with a script and smoothly sail through the event. But my fear of forgetting things, I had still had this morbid fear of forgetting things. So while going for these meetings, I used to jot down everything. Who is the speaker, who is going to speak, everything. Everything was there in my notepad. And armed with this, I used to go to the meetings. What happens next was I had to jot down everything, right? Otherwise, I might forget it after the meeting. So I started jotting down things, more and more things. I became an obsessive compulsive writer, and then started the next vicious cycle. I became a poor listener. Let me just show you what was happening because, okay, you see my screen, right? So I had poor memory. I started taking notes. My listening skills deteriorated because my mind was focused on writing things. I had just had to jot down things. I was not focusing on whatever was happening in the meeting. And I had to revisit notes at the end sometime because nothing that was happening was registered in my mind. So I revisiting notes and again wasted time, right? So this is what I call the rabbit hole. Some bad habit leading to more bad habits, leading to more and more bad habits. It is an intricate network that keeps you running through all these holes. And then you reach a breaking point. So I reached my breaking point and then made the decision. I threw that notepad outside. No more notepads. What happened next was I went to the meetings. I started painstakingly listening to what people are saying. I started understanding better. And there started another cycle. Let me show you that cycle too. So I am listening actively. I could participate better in things. I could participate better. Used to ask questions. See, why is this happening then and there? Because I have this urgency. No more note. I cannot run tomorrow or after the meeting to the note and try to understand things. So active asking questions, clarifying things. So I am understanding things better. I remember things better now. Why? Because I understand better. Why do I understand better? Because I was asking questions. And why was I asking questions? Yeah, I was listening better. So overall, this is a cycle which is improving. Each activity is improving the previous activity, or there's a feedback mechanism that is happening that is strengthening the entire process. And this is what is called the virtuous cycle. Now, this is not specific to public speaking or your personal life. This is something that happens in our country, in the economy. This is something that happens in the organizations which are trying to work on something, improve something. So I started becoming a good listener and I participate better in these discussions and things. Let me just tell you that happened only 2 weeks back. Okay. What happens next? Essentially, you have to try to create these virtuous cycles in whatever you're doing. Now, let's go back to that scenario at school, the recitation competition. I had spent so many hours preparing, memorizing that poem by H.W. Longfellow. It was so thorough in my thought and mind. I was very confident. And once I was very confident about remembering these things, the poem, I went about practicing it aloud. Whenever the classroom was empty, I used to practice. I used to practice in the lawns of the campus. But why did I fail to, or let us say, why did I forget it at that point? Again, one more presentation for you. Just enjoy it. I had started on a good journey, essentially. I had started creating this virtuous cycle that I was talking about right now. Okay. I had learned and done the practice. I had recited to empty rooms, to the garden, to the trees. You know, trees, trees give you oxygen, carbon dioxide, fruits, timber. but they don't give you feedback. So there was no cycle created. That is what happened that day. And then secondly, public speaking is not about memorizing things, and you have more, it's a bigger system. There are more challenges that you have to take care of. I could have recited the poem to my classmates, recited it to my teachers, got their feedback, learned to smile, recited at the school contest, and become a confident performer. That is how I could have created a journey back then. Now, if I had to tell something to my older self, I'll tell myself, please go and recite it in front of people. Now, what is that I had to convey to you? Just one simple thing: create virtuous cycles. Do small things, get feedback, improve, and come back. Create virtuous cycles and not rabbit holes. Thank you very much. Over to you, Toastmaster Manu.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kavita. Thanks for the inspirational speech and all the lessons that you learned from your life. I'm sure that everybody in the meeting would have got some lessons out of it and will try to implement it. So now let's move on to the next section of our meeting. It's the table topics. So I'll handle the table topics for this meeting. So for table topics, we practice speaking on your feet. I'll give you some topics, and it's since the theme is travel, almost all the topics are all travel related. So I'll just break that suspense for now. Speak for the allotted time. I would like everybody to take this opportunity to speak on the topic. So let me just present. Let me just. Okay, who would like to go first?
Me. Ashadi.
Okay. The funniest thing that happened to you in a travel?
Oh my God. It's quite a tough one. Actually, funniest thing. I can't remember anything. Let me try. Hmm.
Or any fun travel experience?
Fun travel experience. Hmm. Fun means it's quite tough. Uh, Actually, fun traveling, I can't remember anything at this particular moment. The fun travel
Or
experience.
you can talk about what you define as fun for a travel.
Fun travel experience means the one I went with. Fun means the exciting things I have, and the one of the most exciting thing was when I went with a resort with my friends, colleagues. So I always the office is like a second home to me. So all colleagues are my very best friends, and when I traveled with them, it was really fun. We kind of dancing and have fun with a lot of games. It was very fun for me. Yeah.
Thanks, Ashwati. So that was a good attempt. So that was
Yeah.
indeed the fun experience that we were looking for. So yeah, let's go to the next. Who wants? Okay, Aashik. Okay, let me share.
Actually, that was a clap emoji.
Oh, is it okay? So who
No
wants to
problem.
go
Actually,
next?
I
You
can
can.
go next.
Okay. Craziest thing you have done in a travel?
Okay. So we all used to go for trips when we are at school, right? Once in a year experience. Everyone will get a message from the teacher like the next month we are planning to go for a trip to some place. Mostly it will be some theme parks, right? So our school also planned to go to a theme park nearby, and it was my first experience. Like I'm going out to a out of house. I don't usually go for these theme park things and all. I mostly stay at home and take leave that day. Then I decided I should not miss this opportunity, and I decided to go with my friends. Then I had a lot of crazy friends, and during the bus was on the road, and there will be other bus also, right, going to the same theme park when we are in the common road and all. Then these friends were in the nearby bus, like we are going in parallel. So the guys, my friends, were waving at the guys at the other bus. There were some girls also. They were making some gestures. Some of them were winking their eyes and all. So that was something crazy or like a fun thing for me back at my school days.
Thanks, Toastmaster Aashik for that. So yeah, that was that was a good experience. Okay, who wants to go next?
Manu, I think I'll try.
Okay, so have you done a solo travel or a solo travel experience? Anything?
Solo travel. I've never tried, and I've never dared to think of solo travel ever. Okay, the reason being, I don't know. I enjoy company wherever it is, be it at office, be it at home, or wherever. Even for travel, without a company, I find it very boring. So solo travel is not something that I opt for, and I don't think I'll ever opt for also. And I've heard about my cousins and a lot of relatives who have opted for solo travel, and I used to wonder what is the excitement to just go on a solo trip. You don't have anybody, you don't have company, you cannot you cannot talk your experience, speak out your excitement to anybody nearby. So I've never been excited about a solo travel. But then I understand there are people who really enjoy it a lot. In fact, they love solo travel more than any travel with company around. So I think there is something about solo travel. Maybe I would give it a try once, and then try to see what is it that excites you when you travel alone. I'll try to speak to my cousins and my relatives also who have tried solo trips. I'll get the tips on how you can make solo travel more exciting and interesting. And I'll try to opt for a solo travel. But having said that, again, my first preference is always travel with my family, my husband and my kids. That is my first preference, and always I would love that. That's it, Manu. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Toastmaster Anu. Yeah, it's all about the perspectives. Some people like traveling with company, some like traveling solo. One thing, I mean, I've not traveled solo, but one thing that I felt is when you're moving, I mean, you're traveling with a company, you tend to talk to only people within that group, interact only within that group. But when you're alone, you have that freedom to talk to anyone, you interact with anyone, you get to meet a lot of new people. So probably that's a perspective that they like. I don't know, I have not traveled solo, but I'm just telling. So who wants to go next?
You can go.
Thomas. Okay, share your dream destination. A simple topic.
Yeah, like my dream destination, that depends from country to country. So I'll first try. I'll share about my dream destination. I have never been to Goa or Bangalore. It's actually I have to. Bangalore, I have been there once because the reason why I said this, Goa, you have a lot of fun activities like you have scuba diving, then you have like paragliding. These are the things that I want to enjoy. Like I usually enjoy this kind of adventurous sports, kind of my thing. Even if I don't like traveling. Even when people ask me to travel, the first thing I would look at the place that we are going to travel is food. So all the food spots, I will mark down all the food spots, and then I would just doze off during the travel. So the unlike this, like the only destination in India, like only two destinations in India, that I would prefer would be Bangalore. Bangalore is because of their parties, their kind of like group activities that they host every Saturday, Sundays, especially during December's. And in Goa, you have sundown parties in December. So that is one, like you have Martin Garrix and all sorts of DJs that coming up there. So it would be a mesmerizing experience that I would like to have. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Thanks, Toastmaster Thomas. Yeah, you are a party person. I was wondering why you didn't say Argentina.
Yeah, Argentina.
You're wearing the Argentina jersey, so I was just
it's my favorite football team. I like Messi a lot. That's why I'm wearing Argentina. Like I don't know all the places. It's difficult to pronounce too. And you have to learn Spanish, Espanol to go. Most of them, they don't speak English that well.
Thank you, Toastmaster Thomas. So who wants to go next?
I'll go next if someone can time. Manu, if you can let me know if it's 2 minutes, that's enough.
Yeah, sure.
And we have time till 12 for the, so we have lots of time for everyone.
Okay, so your topic is most memorable New Year travel.
All right. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters, and thank you, Toastmaster TT Master Manu, for this lovely theme and a lovely topic, New Year party. That's something I've celebrated ever since I moved into my apartment complex in SFS. Until then, it was like, watch all the Doordarshan programs, and at the turn of stroke of midnight, wish New Year and go to sleep. But ever since I've been in SFS, we have celebrated New Year with a bang. And one of the most memorable one that we did was the New Year in Goa. Thomas, we had the opportunity to be in Goa, did scuba diving, paragliding, and whatever, and the booze parties as well. And we thought New Year in Goa is going to be very expensive. So we timed it so that we will celebrate on 30 and 31st we would come back. So what happened is we ended up booking all the flights, and on New Year, New Year, we were in the flight actually. Neither in Goa nor in Trivandrum. And then we thought we would save a lot by moving the party to 30th, but we ran a bill of like 50,000 for the gang. So it turned out to be even more expensive. So from my peregrinate, and we did peregrinate around Goa, wondering what all to do, taking pictures of the lovely houses there. And I remember one of the ladies coming out because she had a very beautiful yellow wall, and every tourist would go stand there and take a picture, and she and her husband used to be annoyed with the kind of tourists there. So that New Year was very great, and will always be my memorable New Year. Thank you. Back to you.
Thanks, Toastmaster Arathi. Yes, with Goa, you get to peregrinate a lot. There are a lot of beautiful beaches. That's one good thing. I've visited there, I think, more than 4 times, and that's one good thing that is there, apart from all the shoppings and all. Who wants to go next?
I go next.
Okay, Prakash, let me just share. Things you hate to do during travel.
Things you hate to do during travel. Thanks, Master Manu, for that topic. Actually, I hate to plan the trips That's one thing that I hate to do. Maybe it's not during the trip. So, one thing that happened, right after my marriage was our first trip. It did not happen for close to 6 months. We went to attend a marriage in Thrissur. Then someone said, Guruvayur. Then someone suggested you can go and visit Chalupudi because my wife wanted to see Adarpalli Falls. So we went to Chalupudi. And from we had a taxi to go to Adarpalli Falls, and we visited other falls. And on the return back to our hotel, the driver suggested, why don't you go to Valparai? And he gave some contacts. We called, and of course, there was a room available. It was a guest house kind of thing. So the next day, around 3 or 5 o'clock, we woke up and we took the bus from Chalupudi to Valparai. And of course, my wife hated that. Traveling a bus at 5 o'clock, 5 or 4 o'clock in the morning. But it was, the road was really narrow, and it was really a wonderful experience traveling through that. And the driver was driving like, he had that kind of experience in that road. So he was really confident on that, and they were not bothered about whether someone is coming in front of them, or hardly one vehicle can go in that road. It was, suppose, one of the best suggested road for road trips by bikers in India. So that was one of the best trips that I had. And after that, my wife said, I am not going to come without any planning. And I also stopped planning trips after that. So yeah, that's what I prefer to do.
Thanks, Toastmaster Prakash, for sharing that memorable experience. Yeah, but I would suggest you should not stop traveling or planning. Okay, who wants to go next? I think we have time for one more.
Datika, just in time.
Hi, Ratika. Okay. Okay, so let me just share. Would you select a spiritual travel destination for year-end travel?
Wow, what an opportune and apt topic for me, because tomorrow I'm traveling and the destination happens to be Varanasi, and spiritual destination for year-end travel. Probably after you become, turned 40, and then the spirituality of the mind and the body sets in, because you will not be able to do the adventurous travel anymore. So that is the time when we turn spiritual in our life's journey. And destination like Kashi, Rameshwaram, Varanasi, and Rishikesh, all that becomes the listed in the bucket list. So yes, not for the youngsters, not for the young at heart, but definitely those are seeking spirituality and then peace of mind at that later years in life. Spiritual destination could probably be an option. And a spiritual destination, if you use the quote, that is what you should explore in your younger days. The spirit of the moment. Goa definitely is a spiritual destination for that matter. And definitely, so when you think about the spirituality in you, the younger days comes with a lot of spirit, and then the latter days comes with a lot of spirituality. And then, definitely, probably that is what we all aspire to be. It is part of the life's journey. So whether it is New Year or holiday travel or life's journey, yes, spirituality is the crux. So you can generate from spirituality, in quotes, to spirituality in life. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ratika. So wishing you a great travel, a spiritual travel. Okay, so that was the last topic that I put, and I'm glad that you came in at the right time to select that topic. But wishing you a great travel. So that's the end of the table topics session. Now let's go to the last part of the meeting, the evaluations. So before we go to the evaluation, can I call upon the timer to let the speech evaluator know what was the timing for Toastmaster Kavita's speech?
Toastmaster Kavita took 7 minutes and 24 seconds. So that is 24 seconds over the time limit, but she's still within the grace period. Therefore, she is on time.
Thank you, Toastmaster Arathi. So let me call upon Toastmaster Prakash to provide the evaluation for the first speech.
Thank you. No, first of all, Toastmaster Kavita, a wonderful speech. You really drive home the point of virtuous cycle. You gave a beautiful example, and the title itself was really curious, virtuous cycle, and not a rabbit. So when it comes to the content, there was a personal story. So, we were able to connect, and you started with a poem, and you talked about your school incident. And then you ended your speech with that same school incident. What would have happened if you, done things in a different manner? So that was really good, connecting everything. And when it comes to one area, I felt a couple of examples would have like that, economy, and there were one more example. Maybe the message could have been conveyed that as well. That's one point that I noted. I felt there. And when it comes to the delivery, the vocal clarity was really good, and the poem that you have recited, it was really, the manner that you have recited was really good. Your gestures were also clear. And a couple of points that I noted there, you could have added some more emotion into that your story about school life, that the incident where you were not able to complete that poem. Maybe you could have throw up some more adjectives and convey that message, more emotion. That's one point. Then another point is maybe there were a few times I felt you had the really good eye contact, but there were a few times, maybe it's because of you were trying to present that, but it somehow gave the notion that you were struggling to recollect. There was some 1 or 2 seconds of disconnect there. Maybe it's because of we were trying to present your pages in a short span of time. That would have been the issue. So overall, I guess overall it's a really wonderful speech, and the message was clear, and how you can improve the process in any aspect of your life, whether it is public speaking or whether it is any walk of any area of your life, you can improve by looking at the process that you are going through, whether you are in rabbit hole, or you can convert that into a virtuous cycle with the detailed, careful analysis of that. The suggestions were adding some more emotions and maybe removing some of the points that's not needed. That's it. Thank you. Thank you. Over to you, Manu.
Thank you, Toastmaster Prakash, for the detailed feedback. I'm sure that Kavita will be taking these feedbacks and incorporating into the future speeches. Next, let me call upon Toastmaster Anu to provide the general evaluation as well as get the tag team members to provide the feedbacks as well for their roles. Over to you, Toastmaster Anu.
Thank you, Toastmaster Manu. That was a great session. Today, I found myself smiling throughout the table topic session. So it was a great day. It was a very cheerful and I felt very happy. So to give the evaluation, let me first invite my tag team. I'll invite Arathi to present the timer report first. Over to you, Arathi.
Thank you, Anu. I'll share my screen and show the timer report. Overall, until now, we are on time. The sergeant attempts from the screen sharing, I could record 20 seconds, but I think he went a little overboard. President did not use up the 2 to 3 minutes that was available. He handed over control after 1 minute and 15 seconds. Maybe he can look at his content. TMOD address was well within time limit and round robin. We had 3 speakers. We had allotted time of 1 minute and Kavita spoke for 45 seconds. Aashik 1 minute and 32 seconds, a little happy, and he spoke more than the time, and Ashwati spoke for 51 seconds. The tag team introduction went a little over for the 5 minutes, but I think we need to adjust the agenda so that we have enough time for all the tag team members to recite their roles. Evaluation. Prakash, a man of few words again, he spoke a little under 1 minute. He had a little more time to explain the evaluation. And until then, the meeting was on time and maintained that till the end of as of now. Speaker 1, Kavita, as I mentioned, 7 minutes and 24. She had 30 seconds grace period, so she stays within the eligibility time. Table topics, we wound up at 11:58, which is again 20 minutes sharp. And we had so many speakers. Ashwati 1 minute 46, so she struggled to start at the beginning of time, the whole time that she was on stage. Aashik 1 minute 35, again over the within time, because you have 2 minutes to speak and actually 30 seconds extra to speak. Anu 1 minute and 26, Thomas 1 minute and 32. Radhika spoke for 1 minute and 42. I'm not sure if mine is right. Did I miss anyone in between? Must be that person. All right, I'm sorry. Speech evaluation. Prakash now spoke for, now again, he spoke for more than his allocated time of 3 minutes. So thereby compensating for all the lapses that he had so far, he spoke on to give the evaluation. So that's the timing that I have until now. Thank you, and back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Arathi, for the detailed report. Now I invite Aashik to present his report of as our counter. Over to you, Aashik. You're on mute. I'm not able to hear Aashik.
Yeah, sorry about that. I don't have the digital copy of the report. I had to go by the old way of having a book and pen. Yeah. So starting with Prakash, his favorite word seems to be He used it more than 5 times. And he loves this sound, like filler sound, like a lot. Then coming to Manu also loves this filler sound a lot. He used it more than 5 times. And the word so 2 times. Kavita used this word like 1 time. And the filler sound 2 times. Ashwati seems to love these sounds more than the words. She used 2 times and the word so 2 times. Then coming to Anu also loves this sound Most of us are loving this sounds, filler sounds. Then coming to Arathi, she also used A one time and two times. Then coming to Jisha, she used the pillar word so two times and the similar sound word and to one time. Then for Thomas, his favorite word is like. He used it more than 5 times. And he also used the filler sound 3 times. Then coming to Radhika, she used the word so one time and you know one time. That's my report. Thank you. And over to you, Toastmaster Anu.
Thank you, Toastmaster Aashik, for that good report. Now let me invite Jisha Binu to present the Grammarian's report. Over to you, Jisha.
So the word of the day, peregrinate, was very much apt to today's topic. However, there were very few usages. In the speeches, I could see there was no usage of peregrinate, and in the table topic sessions, we had Arathi, we had Radhika using it, and also Manu used while his table topic session. There were no incorrect usages of grammar. I could not find any. However, there were some good usages, some new words from Kavita's speech, which were very much appreciated on virtuous, and the code that she mentioned was very much good. So that's my report from the grammarian side. Over to you, Toastmaster Anu.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jisha, for your report. Now, from my side, I've just written down a couple of points on the entire meeting session. Okay, so on the timing of the meeting, it was just on time. Thanks to Arathi, who initiated and told the sergeant at arms to start the meeting. And it was throughout how she handled the timing was very good. She tried to prompt the role takers to note their timing, and she was giving all the cues on the timing. So that was a good thing. So all the meeting started, president's address ended on time. Then even TMOD, it was a very great thing to see TMOD, in spite of the technical glitch, how he came back and he presented it very confidently. He, though the end time was 11:14, he tried to manage and took a couple of minutes and tried to, really handle that particular moment. So it was a great effort from Manu. Then very good thing that I noticed, or something which I really appreciated from Kavita's side, was how she took the round robin. So she was actually a prepared speaker and she was waiting for her turn. But then in spite of that, she volunteered and took that round robin. So I appreciate Kavita's confidence there. Then again, round robin initiated by Manu. It was very good. Arathi, the role, the tag team, Arathi, Aashik and Jisha, all of them explained their role well. So it was good. Then she took turn. Yeah, and one thing I really noticed was how Manu was trying to help Ashwati for her speech. Okay, he was trying to give clues on how she can start her speech and all that. So it was very good, and it was something that I really noticed, and it really helps the speakers to initiate their discussion. Then Kavita Sudhakaran's speech, it was awesome. The rabbit holes and the virtuous cycle, whatever she explained, it was like a lot of tips for me to adopt in my personal life. So that's great. Table topic started on time. Yes, Ashwati Narayan, I mentioned earlier how Manu helped and pitched in and helped her to initiate her session. That was good. And one great thing I liked was how Arathi used the word peregrinate. Instantly she saw it, and I really appreciate how she instantly took that word and she tried to use it in a speech. That is something that we have to adopt from her. Evaluation from Prakash, yeah, that was good. He covered everything. It was nothing else to say about that. And Aashik, yeah, he said he went back to the old school with the hard copy, but then I think the digital copy helps people. I don't know whether digital copy is required, but then I like the digital copy. So I thought digital copy would help in such online meetings. So that was all from my evaluation. It was a great session today. Thanks to all of you. Over to you, TMOD Manu.
Thanks, Toastmaster Anu and the tag team members for the detailed feedback. So all these feedbacks are really important for all of us. And I feel we should all take this as constructive feedbacks and incorporate this into our speeches and the way we talk and present ourselves in the future. So as we come to the end of our sessions, I have a small quote from Saint Augustine. The world is a book, and those who do not travel read only one page. That's a really good quote, I would say. And I would say that if you have not traveled, or if you have not traveled or do not have any travel plans, it's not very late as well. It's an opportunity to read more pages. So I would say get set, go, travel, plan something right now, and for the year and travel. So with this, let me hand over to our president, Toastmaster Prakash.
Thank you, Manu. That's such a wonderful meeting. I'm sure all of us are now, ready to make plans for our next. So with that, I think we are early to close the meeting, I suppose. We have 15 minutes. Maybe we will. Yeah, I think there is a. Arathi has just shared the voting link. Maybe you can take a moment to.
Yeah.
For the rest.
If we have enough time, we can do the table topics.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I
selected topic. There is one topic I want to talk about.
That's what I think. We will start with. I'm handing it over to you. Should I close it, or we can continue?
Let's continue till 12:30. If it's okay.
Sure.
We will pick one table topic of our choice, what we already saw. Another.
Yeah, sure. Manu.
So okay, let me just.
I think I can go without the tech.
Okay, good.
Funniest one. So I was. We will still time. Okay, I'll time myself. So as part of travel, I get to travel. Of work, I get to travel a lot. Anu's topic, solo traveler again. I have not done personal travel solo, but all my business trips were solo. And one of the trips I went to Turkey. It was me traveling alone from here, and then a colleague from London also joined. So we did our business presentations, and then end of the meetings over, we had a day to spend in Istanbul. So we were roaming around in front of the Haji Ali and not Haji Ali, the mosque, the Blue Mosque, etc. And then a vendor came, street vendors who come selling things. He came and gave us a book of the map of Turkey. So he says, are you Indian? So we both were Indian. So he said, oh, I love Bollywood song. That's a typical sales pitch. I love Bollywood song. And then he danced something, and then this is a book, you please buy. So we said, we don't have any Turkish lira. We don't want. He said, you're from India. You're my favorite countryman. Please take it as a free gift. So he said, okay, Indians, we get like free gifts. We got it. So we walk 10 meters forward, and then he comes from the other side and says, actually, I'm a student. I'm selling these books to study. So can you give some money? Okay, so the other guy is from UK. He knows the way around things. So he said, no, we don't have any money. All we have is Indian money. Okay, so that guy said, oh, it's okay, fine. So he said, I have 100 rupees. So he said, wow, that's fine. Give it to me. So we gave him this 100 and walked away with the book. Again, 10 meters we walk. The guy comes back very furious. 100 rupees means 5 lira for me, okay? So he thought it was a very big amount, and he was quite happy that we paid away with 100. He was so mad and he blasted us. So we gave that book and ran away from there. So every time after that, we see street hawkers come and try to sell us in the name of Bollywood songs. We just run away. That's all, and back to you, Manu.
Thank you, Toastmaster Arathi. Yeah, that was a very horrific experience, right? And like I said, when I went to Sri Lanka, that was one of the things that I had in mind. But luckily, I did not face anything like that. The people and everything was really calm and very helpful. The people over there. But thanks for the insights. We'll keep it in mind if in case we go to or I go to Turkey in the future. So anybody else who would like to talk for some minutes on some travel experience?
Yeah. So Manu, probably I did not pitch in during table topics, so I thought this is the moment which I can utilize in. So for me, though, if that question would have come on weirdest travel that I had, so during the month of July, we went to Andamans. So Andamans was only in the books that we heard, or the impression of Andamans was more of a Kala Pani and that, the prisoners area. So for me, we had another level of fun in Andamans when we traveled on a cruise, because their destinations are like all the spots, they are small islands, and for us to travel from one place to other, cruise is one of the way. And when we got into the cruise, it was quite a happy and joyful area, and not to mention that it was a monsoon time, and it was a high tide time in the. But we were like we thought like, okay, it's a normal travel, so we all went and sat on this, and then we could see there were people around with carrying those webcams, which usually we see this travel. YouTubers doing a lot of travel, blogging, all those things. So we were seeing those people who were, with comments and all those things. And after some time, as soon as this cruise started moving in, because of high tide, nobody could sit properly in their places. And one by one, we could see everybody vomiting. So that was something like a, very funny sight where you were seeing bloggers holding the camera and, after some time, everybody is in a totally different zone itself. So that was one of the funny travels that we will always remember, and it was great fun traveling in it.
Thanks for sharing that, Jisha, Toastmaster Jisha. Anybody else who would like to go?
Can I try again? Can I try again?
Sure.
What is that you don't like to do on a travel? I don't like to sleep. All right. Even when I'm in a resort, I get up at 5 in the morning and go for a walk. Last time I went to Dehradun, I did yoga at 5 o'clock with my sister-in-law. We were staying in 2 different rooms. We would not get up. And I hate to spend time inside a room in a resort, which is very opposite to my husband. He hates to step out of a resort. So that is why we don't travel together much, because he likes to relax. I do not like 1 minute of relaxation. I want it to be a jam-packed day from morning until night. So I don't want to miss any of the things. Next thing is, I don't like planning. Like Prakash said, I never do all the planning. We just hatch on to somebody else who does the planning and then go with them, so that all the good things they take credit, no problem. All the bad things they also get the plaque, which is works well for me as well. Again, I do not do much research on the places that I go, even though I love reading about it, and I end up reading about it after coming back and realizing that had I did a little more reading before I had gone, it would have been really great. So these are my don't do's for travel. Back to you.
Thanks, Toastmaster Arathi again. Yeah, Toastmaster Prakash.
Yeah, I had a similar experience actually. Experience is not learning about the place. In fact, not some foreign place, Kovalam. I was tasked to take a customer to visit Kovalam. I took him and we were visiting the places. We were walking around that place. And suddenly he asked about me, what is so famous about this place and all those things. I said, "Oh, yeah, it's a normal beach. It's because I did not have any idea. Then he started explaining, see, there is some black sand and everything. I was like, black sand? Where? In Kovalam? I did not know that. Then he started talking about, Kovalam is supposed to be famous for black sand. Then that incident was over. Then I came back on that day and then I started learning about it. I think, the coastal area of Kerala, we have this black sand, right? So that's really a weird as well as experience, I guess, in front of the customer. He came from UK and he taught me about Kovalam.
Yeah, that reminds me. I mean, so normally once a year, our company sends us to the US. So what we normally do is, so our headquarters is in California. So whenever we plan a travel to US, we try to go to some other place, travel early, a week early, or then we stay back a week so that we can travel to some other places. After 2 or 3 years, and when we were talking to one of our directors in US, he was saying, "You guys have traveled to so many places in US. We haven't gone to those places yet." So sometimes foreigners will give you a lot of insights about our own places because, yeah, they've done the research. They might have done a lot of travels compared to the locals. That's, yeah. Anybody else? I think we still have 7 more minutes. I think.
Yeah, Manu, let me go next.
Okay.
I'll talk free on my experience. Okay. So I'm a reluctant traveler. I don't travel on will. Once I was pushed into this on-site trip by my manager. I had to travel to Japan. He accompanied me, so the journey was fine. We landed at a hotel. 1 week it was a 2 week trip. There was a weekend in between, and he said, "We are going to Tokyo." My plan was to sit in the room, relax for those 2 days. I don't know why. I had no plans of traveling. So two of my colleagues and my manager decided we need to travel to Tokyo. So early morning, I didn't want to travel because I had so much to explain to customer on Monday. I wanted to prepare on all that. But these guys wouldn't listen to me. Again, manager is there, so he's taking responsibility. See, you go, whatever happens, I'll take care of all that, all the consequences. So we traveled to Tokyo. It took around 2 hours to travel from wherever we were staying. We went to Tokyo when it was extreme cold climate, and we went to Tokyo Tower. We had ice cream in that chilling cold weather. So each time I look back, had it been a solo travel, I would have stayed in the room prepared for the presentation. My bad. But these guys forced me into traveling, and even still, I'm grateful to my managers. He would easily told me, "You sit here, finish it while we go and enjoy." He took. Uh, it was like something I still look back to, uh, enjoying that day. That made my journey actually. That made my what shall I say? That is the most long distance and memorable experience I ever had. I still don't look forward to traveling to Japan anytime. I don't want to travel. I prefer sitting here and going to Kovalam. But that feeling of sitting in a foreign land in this cold, extremely cold weather, eating ice cream, and then coming back, traveling again 2 hours by the train was fun, worthwhile. So that's my take on reluctant traveler traveling actually. Thank you, and over to you, Manu.
Thanks, Toastmaster Kavita. Yep. Japan is one of the places that I would like to travel someday. It's a great culture, and that's what I've heard, and great lot of food as well, really unique foods as well. But yeah, one thing that you have shown is coming out of the comfort zone, right? You're comfortable in some place, but somebody pushed you to something else which you liked. That's good. Anybody else?
Ashwati, Thomas, Radhika, Anu.
I can go next. Yeah, let
Okay.
me take you back again to my childhood. One of my similar trip to some amusement park or something. So we were traveling on bus and it was in the noon, I guess, and we had to stop some place for lunch. And all of us get out of the bus, and they park it somewhere. We don't know where it is parked. Then after lunch, my friends went and go to the bus. I was all alone. Then I decided to after a few minutes, I also walked towards the bus. I can't find my bus, but there was a bus which was so similar to my our school's bus. Then I was sure that this is the bus, and then I started walking towards that bus, and I got inside. Then I came to know that it was not my bus, but it was some bus rented by a girls' school. Everyone in that bus was a girls, and I got so embarrassed, and I get off the bus and start when looking for my bus and got in my bus and told my friends that something happened like this, and they were all teasing me for the entire day. That was it.
Thanks, Toastmaster Aashik. So I think your friends had a good time
Yeah.
making fun of you the whole day.
Yes.
So I think we are almost time. Toastmaster Prakash.
Yeah. Right up. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Toastmaster Manu, for such a wonderful meeting. It was really great meeting. I think what I wanted to convey to summarize this meeting, Kavita summarized it really well. So it's about the experience, when you travel to a place, the memories that you keep with you, the memories that kept in, keep on lingering in your mind. That's what makes traveling more interesting. And for me personally, I always feel that it's not the plan, the unplanned trips, the chaos in that unplanned trips. That's what keep on remembering. Missing a train in Germany and asking the people. You realize, you feel like it's a developed country, but no one speaks English. You go on and talk to them about in English, with the English that you know, and they still struggle to communicate in Germany. I mean, it's the moments like these. That's what keep on lingering in my mind when it comes to traveling. Of course, that you cannot use the same methodology when you travel with your family. So I wish everyone will travel more and have better experience, learn the culture, experience the world, and cherish the memories that you get of that. There is one quote that keep on. I think it's an anonymous quote. The best stories are written in your passport, in between the pages of your passport. That's something that I always even. It's not necessary you need to travel abroad, but that basically conveys the message for traveling. So with that note, let me officially conclude this meeting. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.
The awards, please. Winners.
I always forget that. When Radhika is there, of course, she is the table topics winner, and the best role player is Manu. Congrats. With that, let us officially conclude this meeting. You can stay back and network, just in case.